Something else a little weird I might do that other people don't do is I can pork neck bones. And it was a newbie who really gave me the idea a while back. She cans pork loin. And you just stick it in there, big chunks. Don't worry about it. Just fit it in there as good as you can. Now, why would I do something like this? And I'll tell you why. Because in a bad situation, I want something that I can just enjoy, you know? And maybe you don't enjoy neck bones, but you know what? I really, really do. And so do my kids. So that's what we do. And you just find the bones that fit in there as good as you can. You put it in there. And then I'm going to can it up at 90 minutes. Now that might just be good for one of us. Just pull them out and, you know, eat them. But in a bad situation or not so bad situation, we like this. And today I'm canning up some meat anyway. So I'll have a few jars, extra jars of this left over. And that's pretty neat. So just to give you some ideas, it doesn't have to always be the best cuts of meat. Alright, so for one package of about $2.10, not even that really, I got 2 quart jars of neck bones. Now, most people would say, oh, for Pete's sake, that's ridiculous. But you know what? Hey, I'm talking some good eating. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to sprinkle some of my barbecue dry rub in there, and I'm going to can it. This is no different than doing the dry rub or the dry canning on the hamburger. And we're going to pressurize it. So, this, believe it or not, it's going to shrink. Since I'm canning up the pork necks, I'm going to go ahead and can up some other things. These little pork loins, I don't know if you guys have ever seen these. These are pretty good. Now, they could be a little pricey, but if you get them on sale, they're not. And I'll show you how easy it is to can something like this. Just take it, spice it on, alright? I take a little chunk, I cut a little bit of it off, like that. See? Throw it in the jar. There it is. Throw this in there. There it is. I'm going to clean all that off. And I'm going to do that with every one of these. I got all different kinds. I got peppercorn flavor, mesquite barbecue, regular, and I got lemon pepper. They're really good. So just take them, put them in a quart jar. If you want to, you can go ahead and cut it up. I don't bother. That way when it comes out, it's a nice chunk of pork tenderloin. I'm telling you, just stuff it in there. There you go. You're going to have one nice pork tenderloin per quart. Now here's a pepper one. Do I put any other spice in it? No, I don't. I just take it like this. I cut them just like that. What a beautiful. Put it in the quart. Throw it in there. Just like you were doing any other kind of meat. This is amazing when it's done. In fact, I'll tell you what, it was one of my newbies that taught me this. I used to, and I would have cut this up in chunks. But you know what? I went over to her house and I tried it, and fabulous. Just fabulous what we can do when we put our minds to it. Look at that. That's done. And then I got 2 jars of the pork neck bones. I put 7 lids in the water and I'm going to let it simmer. But we're going to come over here and we are going to clean these jars off. This is a wet, warm rag. Now my jars are cold, my meat is cold. Am I going to worry about that? No. We're going to clean off these jars real good. We're going to put it in cold water in the canner. My canner is not going to be hot water. And we're going to bring all these temperatures together at the same time. This is meat, not to worry. Meat is probably one of the easiest things for you to can. You just got to be clean. How long you been doing this, Deb? Many years. And as I like to say, I haven't poisoned anyone. So we're going to let the lids heat up. We got our bands. And then I can talk to you for a few minutes. Here's the thing. You know, I've heard so many people say, well, Deb, when the SH happens, you know, when the stuff happens and hits the fan, then I'm going to defrost my meat and do all my canning. I got to ask you a question. Are you really going to be able to do that? You're going to be almost hysterical because it's going to hit you that we're in big trouble. You are also going to have who in goddamn knows how much, maybe a couple 100 pounds of meat in your freezer, and you're going to be able to defrost that, and then what, do 7 jars at a time? Unless you got pints. Do you have enough jars? No. Probability is you might get 1 or 2 batches out, but the rest is going to spoil. That's why I can everything. Every opportunity. If I see 1 canning jar at a garage sale, I pick it up. I run my finger across it to make sure there's no nicks or anything. If it's 50 cents, I grab it. I'm not playing games. This, you know, this is survival we're talking about. And this is some good eating in case of survival, but, you know, it's because we took the time beforehand. We took the time to prepare things. Friends, this is a newbie of mine, taught me this. Her name's Tammy. She's a wonderful gal. She jumped on board just a few months ago, and she's already got over 6 months supply. I'm so proud of her. So I'm giving a U2 hello to Tammy. And I have to give one to Brenna too, because Brenna has been doing fabulous. She's a couponer, and I wish I could learn that. I just haven't gotten the art of that yet. That girl has stocked more paper products up than I ever could hope to. But you know what? She's going to use it for bartering. So this so far is how to can up meats. Now you notice that my meats are cold, and that's fine. You don't want hot meat. If you're going to cook it, that's different. But this is raw meat, so you can have cold jars. They just had to be clean to begin with. And because they're quartz, we're going to process them in a pressure canner for 90 minutes. If they were pints, we would do it for 75 minutes. And then you have to do it according to your elevation. Mine is 11 pounds of pressure, and that'll be for 90 minutes. So I'm going to wait until my lids are ready to go. You know, everybody has their own little process. This is mine. This is the way I do it. It's a basic process. I just put a simmering lid on top. I take the ring and I put it in. Now my canner is only going to take 7 quarts. That's why I only made 7 quarts. When I do pints, it takes 16 of them. That's a little different. What I'm going to do, and this is what I do with every can or every jar. I do not put liquid in it because it's raw. If you're using raw meat, you put no liquid in it at all. If you're using cooked meat, then you have to put a broth or something in it. I like raw canning meat. Number one, I remember once I had, with no exaggeration, I had 400 pounds of meat, and I wanted to do it. I didn't quite do it in a weekend, but I sure gave it my all. And now I have 3 of these canners, and they cost me about 78 bucks a piece. So about $240. I can do 24 quarts at a time. I like that. Where I love those Americana pressure canners, don't get me wrong, I do, I love them. But they cost so much money, and I'm just not going in for it. I have extra things. So you see I have 8 quarts in there. Now, what we're going to do, once you check the hoe and you make sure you can see through that, okay, once you can make sure that you can see through that, we're going to put on our lid. So, that's what we do. Now, I'm sure you guys can see, I use this puppy all the time. Now, since the water's cold, the canner's cold, the jars are cold, and the meat's cold, I'm going to turn on the heat here. Let's see. I'm going to turn on the heat. Wrong one. And I'm going to do it very low. I'm just going to do it low. And I'm going to let that all warm up together. And it's going to take a little bit of time. But you know what? I'm not in a rush. It's going to take about 45 minutes to do it my way. You bring it up to a boil slow until it's going to start boiling out of here violently. We're going to measure the time, 10 minutes. Now you can see that it's already come up to degrees that the smoke is coming out, or the steam's coming out. And that looks pretty good, but you know what? It's not strong enough. We want that stream to be violent. I mean, whoosh. And then I will say we will count to 10. It's getting there. It's getting there. Okay, now what does the Debster mean when she says violent? If I was to hold my finger over that hole, I'd hurt myself. That's what. I would burn myself. You see it going? We're going to set the timer for 10 minutes. Let that escape for 10 full minutes. Now, as you see, that's pretty violent. Alright, the timer has gone off, so we're going to take this regulator, it's also known as a weight, and put it out. Well, do it this way, put it right over the hole. And we're going to let this go up to the 11-pound mark, because that's what my number is for. You need to look in your Ball Blue book or your extension office and find out what weight you need for your area. And now I will set my timer for 90 minutes. So the jars have been pressure cooking for an hour now, but we still have half hour to go. The timer went off, so I turned off the flame here, and I'm going to let that go down. We're going to let this go down all on its own, all the way to the 0. And then when there's no more spewing or noise, I'll take this off and I'll open it up and I'm going to show you what it looks like. It's all over 2 pounds. It's about 2 pounds of food in each one. Thank you for watching, and I hope you learn that canning meat is an easy thing. If you're going to can quarts, you do 90 minutes. If you're going to can pints, you do it at 75 minutes. If you're going to cook your meat ahead of time, you need broth or some kind of liquid. And if you're going to use raw meat, you use no liquid at all. Until next time, I'll see you. Bye.